So this brings us to our very special guest.
Yes.
JC of Beyond the Call of Duty, a nonprofit organization dedicated to keeping the memory alive and ensure that no officer is forgotten.
None. This is a great organization. JC is a retired reserve sergeant and chairman and founder of the organization. That he has made it his mission to honor all fallen officers and ensure that their families know they have not been forgotten. That is the recognition and support and understanding to help them heal.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's
it's a
what
beautiful
they do.
thing. Now, JC, welcome, first of all. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. JC, could you share more about the inspiration behind founding Beyond the Call of Duty and how the organization came to existence?
I was born and raised in Africa. I was born in Uganda and raised in Kenya. We had to take political asylum. My parents lost everything due to Idi Amin and grew up in Kenya. In '89, was blessed to be able to come to this beautiful country and started working here, actually in Seattle, and transferred to Yakima, and then got on as a reserve with Sunnyside Police Department. Went on from there to become a reserve sergeant with Yakima County Sheriff's. I'm actually the first reserve that went through an academy, got kicked out of the academy because I went undercover before I graduated.
You're that good, sir.
Yeah, I graduated and I was undercover for about 11 years. Did a lot of drug busts. And then in 2016, I got out of being a reserve and moved to Spokane. And in 2003, lost a good friend, Saul Gallegos, out of Chelan. And then lost a few more after that. And it was about 2012, 2010, I started just wondering what I could do to basically humanize the badge and keep the memories and their names of all these fallen officers alive and not have them referred to as a badge number. So after I retired, I got out in 2016, moved to Spokane. The wife saw me just moping around and said, why don't you put together something and make it happen? And so we put Beyond the Call of Duty together and Right to Remember, and took off our first year in 2020. I stayed in contact with the families of the fallen that I know personally, and like I said, a couple, 6 months down the road, we tend to not go and visit them every day. A year down the road, we go into a grocery store and we get this awkward moment of, oh my Lord, they're there. What do I do? Do I go say hi? Or, we're carrying on with our lives. We're going to our vacations. We're seeing our children. We're seeing our spouses, and they have this void in their life. So that was kind of what kept on mustering in my soul, as best as I could say. We're not doing the ride every year now because it costs us $300,000 to do the ride around the nation. So what we opted to do was we took 1 year off, but we're going to run 2 years in 1 year now. So this year when we leave, we'll be honoring the 2022 officers and the 23 officers that died in the line of duty. Our memorial is escorted by 6 beautiful Harley Davidsons, and when we leave June 1st, we don't get off those bikes until we arrive back home. Each bike has a memory of a past fallen, not from the years 22 or 23, but we bring the story back. We ask the families permission, and then throughout the ride and throughout the year, that person is talked about every time that bike goes wherever it goes or is on the ride to the departments. And we do various pop-ups throughout the year. We also raise money for other foundations that are like-minded and need the money for their cause. We don't assist any large departments. So, last year or 2 years ago, we lost Lexi in Seattle. So we won't assist Seattle PD because they have so much government aid. A small department, low funding, and they don't have, example, tasers. which is a necessity to try and prevent using lethal force. If we can use less than lethal force to protect the person as well as save a life, then that's what we're going to do, is we're going to get funding for that department. So up to date, we have given tasers, we have given body armor. We went to a department in Georgia, 4-person department, no body armor at all. And so that was the very first thing we did, was got body armor for them. No body cameras. So we're working with another company now called Provision that is actually getting permission to donate body cams so we can get those to departments without having a cost. Lastly, we are huge on canines, and so we have donated 3 canines because we believe that canine serves 2 purposes. One, in being able to track a lost person, but also being an absolute tool on protecting the partner. So after the first year we started inviting survivors to come and ride with us. And so Eddie actually has been on the ride now 3 times. His partner, Dan Grove, has been on the bike for the last 2 years now. So he gets to talk about his partner, who he was, what he did, to other survivors and other officers.
He was a trooper for Colorado State Patrol. On March 13th of 2019, we had a big blizzard that came through, and he was out patrolling in the northeast corner of the state and saw a car pulled off to the side, so he flipped around to go help them. As he got out of his vehicle, another car was coming by going too fast for conditions, lost control and hit Dan. So basically, life kind of ended that day. JC was an organization not involved. He didn't know Dan. He didn't have to give Dan's name a second thought. But he did. He cared. They saw Dan was my life partner, and they celebrated us together. I can't see myself not doing this and not promoting and not connecting with survivors. As a survivor, that's one of the strongest healing aspects that I've actually experienced. Being able to talk to other survivors, to be able to tell my story, and to be able to help other survivors know that they're not alone.
I think we've gone away from talking about people's names, but referring to just a badge number. And my goal is really to humanize the badge a little bit and talk about their lives, who their family is, what they are about, and what they do.
I had a great conversation with this, and just the passion behind it and why this mission started, right? Just wonderful. And I'm going to use my word here. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.